I'm going to show you how you can become a full-time trader by following this process. My name is Mostafa Hussein, and in the last 21 years of trading, I've made over $20 million. Just hearing that may sound overwhelming for a lot of different reasons, but trading can actually be very simple if you break it down to basics. You don't need all of these different indicators that you hear from the pundits on television or people online. I'm going to show you simple indicators that I have used over my 20 years that will help you become a successful trader, amass a lot of money, and more importantly, be able to sleep at night when you have money that is in a trade, unlike those that you hear that lose endless amounts of money because they don't understand what they're doing. So when people first come on YouTube or start reading books, they get overwhelmed with indicators. And if you come here and just look at my chart, it can look very complex to start out with, but if you compare it to other people's charts, it's actually really simple. I'm going to briefly walk you through this real quick so you just have a basic understanding of what I'm doing. These two charts, the candles, these are exactly the same. They're just daily candles. Each candle represents one day. These squiggly lines over here, they're just different moving averages, 25, 50, 100, and 200. It just means the movement average of the stock price over the past X number of days. Your volume down here, very simple, tells you how many shares are coming in and out of the stock per day. And on the bottom here, you have what's called your stochastic or your trend line. I will say trend line. This is a daily mover. You notice that it moves more than this one over here. This one is smoother. It doesn't move as much because this is your weekly stochastic. So daily stochastic tracks day to day, weekly stochastic tracks week to week, and that's all that's on my chart. And that's how simple this can truly be. Now, the most important thing when it comes to trading, and this is why people lose so much money, it's the trend. You have to be able to trust the trend. And if you remember, I just said the trend lines down here. So what these actually do is they tell you the trend or the direction of the stock in that time frame that you're looking at. So what does that mean? It means the direction that the volume is going, the buyers and the sellers are going. So if you see a stock that is going up like this, well, what's happening? You are typically going to have buyers coming into the stock. And if you see a stock that is coming down like this, you're going to have red sellers coming into the stock. And the direction is going to dictate that to you. So if you notice here, stock price going up, volume is green, means buying, a lot of buying volume, and your trend is positive. Over here, stock price is coming down, volume is red, meaning that there's a lot of sellers in there. Where's the trend going? The trend is coming down. The trend rarely ever lies to you. I actually say the trend is your friend. If you trust the trend for the entirety of your career, you will be better off than not trusting the trend. What I frequently see with a lot of different and new traders and even experienced traders is what I call the monkey cage. They basically do what a monkey does. They take a bunch of poop and throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And some things are going to stick and it's going to be great and you're going to make money. But the majority of them are not going to stick. And the problem with that is the ones that you make money on, it makes you want to keep coming back and doing that same thing over and over. And it just doesn't work over a long period of time. So when we come over to the weekly chart, and this is my favorite chart. This is my favorite chart. Remember, the candles are the same. The candles here and over there are exactly the same. The difference is the trend. So the idea here is that you are going to be able to stay in a trade for weeks to months. And some people might be saying, well, Mostafa, that doesn't make sense. I know that the stock price goes up and down and people are always in and out of these things. And I hear people on CNBC saying that you got to get in this and get out of this because the momentum is this way. Well, the momentum of the day-to-day over here might be telling you that. This is the daily chart where you get in and out every 1 to 5 days. But over here, you're in it for weeks. This is Google. And if you notice here, Google dropped into a negative trend back in, February, and it is now April 4th. That was mid-February. Yes, you had your ups and downs. Look at this. You had ups. You actually were maybe giving back some profits here. You lost some money and you kind of gave back some profits. Lost some money here. Well, you made some money here if you're going short. And it just started to reverse on you. When did you sell? Right around here, right around the exit point. So the point of me saying this, I don't know if this is a trade that I was not in this, but this is a great example for me to show you that just says, just because the price action moves one way or the other doesn't mean that you exit the trade. You trust this down here. You trust your trend. And I'm not saying that if you trust your trend, you're going to win every single time, but you're going to win more often than not. Remember, trading is all about probability. Let me tell you a story real quick. When I started this, I did not trust my trend. I said, I think it's all more about price action. My mentor that I was learning from, I was like, you know what? He's been doing this so long. He doesn't understand. It's outdated, his system, yada, yada. Well, once I started trusting the trend and started saying, you know what? I'm in this thing going short. I'm making money on the way down. Yes, it rebounded. I gave back maybe 30%. So if I started my short here, I gave back maybe 30% of my profits. But I knew that the trend was still down. And I said, you know what? I'll just stay in it and see what happens. And boom. The trend rarely lies, like I said in the beginning. If you trust your trend, you're going to be better off than not trusting it. So with that being said, let me be your mentor. Just trust me, I've made the mistakes in the past. You can join my Patreon right now for $25 a month. There's only 100 spots available and the price will go up. You'll get access to me in the chat and you'll get access to my twice weekly live streams. You'll be able to talk to me and other traders in the chat. It is a fantastic place to learn. Now, the next thing that I want to look at, and something very simple, it's volume. Think about volume this way. Volume is the gasoline that you put in your car. If you do not have gasoline in your car, you're not going to be able to go anywhere, right? Well, that's the same thing with volume. If you do not have volume, you're not going to go anywhere. And if you look in here, this yellow line here is the average volume over the last 30 days. So if you just take the volume over the last 30 days, average it out, that's what this yellow line is. This is Google. It's about 32.6 million trades per day. And if you look right in here, you notice that you're significantly lower than the average volume, meaning that there's not a lot of gasoline in that car. And what do you notice about the stock price? Well, you notice that you have all of these weird long lines on them. Those are wicks. Wicks are the fat part of the candle is where the stock price ended up. But during this day, for example, the price ran up and it pulled all the way back down and it finished down here. Right around here, it ran all the way down, it rebounded back, finished right up here. Why does it do that? There's uncertainty. It's the buyers and sellers not agreeing. And when the buyers and sellers don't agree, there's not a lot of volume that comes into the stock. I know that this can be a little bit tricky, but once you fully understand and you just think it's a gas tank, I need to fill the gas tank, I need to have it on full, you'll notice that you'll start to have this movement. Actually, this is a really great example right here. Wasn't intending on showing this. Notice this volume bar right here. It's actually pretty solid. It's almost at average volume. And what did you get when you got that day? Look at this large candle that happened. You don't have any of those wicks on it. Now, subsequent days, volume has fallen back off. And look, wick, wick, wick. That's the importance of volume. I'm really happy that I just saw that because it's a great example to show you. Now, we need to piece it all together and we need to say, all right, when do we actually buy? Well, it's very simple. There's a lot of different candles out there and I have videos and I'll teach this to you of the different types of candles and what they mean. And does that mean that the stock price is going to change direction? Does it mean that I should buy? Well, let's look at this. When you're looking at a candle, you ideally want to see a candle like this one right here. This is called an engulfing candle because it takes out the previous day. So if you have a long, let's try to draw a candle right here. This is supposed to be a nice candle. And let's say you have a candle that looks like this the previous day. This is an engulfing candle. It almost engulfs, it completely takes out the previous day. What happens when you see an engulfing candle? Well, we just said it. When you see that, you typically see good buying volume. So when you put all of these things together, when you put your trend together, plus good volume, plus a good candlestick, there you have the opportunity to look a little bit deeper and go and buy a stock. Now, I made it sound pretty simple. Trust me, it's not going to be that simple. It will be easy if you stick to the process. This takes a lot of repetition. What I would do is go through 500 stocks a day and I would just review engulfing candles. Or I would just look at trend and I would just review trend. It takes a lot of effort to get to this point, but trust me, you can do it. I have had so many students out there, some of which are in this community still, that are doing this full-time as a job right now. I can think of two people off the top of my head. One has completely stopped working. The other was a chiropractor, and he is seeing patients now once or twice a week because he wants to. He doesn't have to. I've had some amazing success stories, and I'm an amazing success story coming from my mentor. You can do this too if you stick to it. Go and watch that next, and you will be on your way.